For quite some time now, we have been talking about age verifications. The KOSA bill, which is trying to be being pushed through the Senate currently right now as we speak. We are in an election year. As insane as what's been going on with the elections this year, the current president dropping out, the vice president being ushered in without any votes to the situation. And before you say, well, she got no. She was not voted into this position to run for office. And I believe there's going to be a contested convention come in probably in a couple of days, mind you. The DNC convention is coming up very soon. But this is something that always comes up. You always get these bills that get pushed during election years because, they have the point where we have to save the children. We got to save the children. We must change these rules.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
And violate the First Amendment rights of our citizens here in the United States in order to get that. And we have an article here out of Adult Video News that a Congressional Research Service has already put out a scathing paper on that. Basically, even though that they want to do this KOSA Act and all that, CRS, because Congressional Research Service, does not recommend it because it could, and I know it could violate the First Amendment, and this is true. We here at Man with the Show, we have been reporting this for quite some time now. We've said bills like this, age verification laws, these are a violation of the First Amendment. Because anytime I got to pull out my ID, I got to prove my age to go on the internet. That is totally wrong. But he said, but wait a minute. Don't you got to prove your age to get beer or something? Yeah, but that's something totally different. Do you have to prove your age to go to the library? No, not at all. Do you have to prove your age to buy a book? Unless it's something that if you look underage on there? No. You don't go to Barnes & Noble and you want to pick up a book about history and you got to show your ID. Do you go to a museum and they ask for your age? No, they don't. So why in the hell do I need to let you know that who I am on the internet? The only thing that would cause is for them to make lists of people people that saying, they watch this, they watch that, and they will use that against you. So from AVN, let's read this. U.S. Senate might vote on KOSA despite new CRS reporting on AV laws. The extremely controversial Kids Online Safety Act could be voted in the U.S. Senate by the end of the month, reported by the Associated Press. This news comes weeks after nonpartisan Congressional Research Service, the legislative branch research think tank, warned that any sort of child safety legislation requiring the collection of sensitive, personal, identifiable information could run up against the U.S. Constitution. KOSA, a bipartisan bill introduced by Senator Blumenthal of Connecticut and Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, is regarded by civil liberty organizations as a measure that could harm anonymity online and could lead to censorship. AVN reported extensively on KOSA, including the introduction of the companion bill in the U.S. House of Representatives by a bipartisan coalition of lawmakers. Despite the bipartisanship, there are still noteworthy fears. Nevertheless, this hasn't swayed against a potential vote on the measure by the end of July. At least this is what Josh Golan, Executive Director of Fair Play, explained to the Associated Press. Technology writer Barbara, excuse me if I mispronounce this, Outre. Fair Play is a Boston-based nonprofit group campaigning against marketing tactics used by large technology companies to report addicted minors to social media. It is one of the leading groups in support of the KOSA legislation. Let me stop there for one moment, and I'm going to put this on there. A lot of these kids that are online constantly, I'm going to say this. It is the parents' job to take care of that, not the government. And this is where we have that fine line situation. There are people out there, whether they're kids, whether they're adults, that have they're having depression issues, mental issues. It's a situation, and it ain't because of what they're listening to, what video game they're playing, what movie they're watching, if they're watching porn, if they're watching action films, if they're watching horror. They have a issue that needs to be resolved, whether it's through the family or seeing a psychiatrist to resolve that situation. Enough said. Reading on, Golan said that he is very hopeful for a vote by the end of the month. He said, the reason it has not come to a vote yet is that passing legislation is really hard, particularly when you're trying to regulate one of the, if not most powerful industries in the world. Golan referred to the fact that KOSA has been delayed many times because no major vote has been taken, despite the support from Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York and the Biden administration. No, the reason why there hasn't been a vote is that there are those who are in office that work for the people, by the people, and they know legislation like this, and I keep telling them, this is from both sides of the aisle that is doing this. Both sides. You are not going to help children with this law. You're not going to save them from the situations on there. There are other issues out there in the world, including in the United States, that you have not resolved with children. Especially the education of children. The education standards of children has declined and continues to crash in the United States for quite some time now.
Pretty good.
Her son is in 4th grade at Johnston Square Elementary. For years, she says she's been trying to get the school system to hold her son back, give him time to learn the material, instead of just pushing him through the grades. 5 months ago, in October, she even wrote Project Baltimore asking for help, saying her son is not getting the education he needs.
He can't read. He's in the 4th grade. How is he supposed to be productive if he can't read?
Baltimore City is facing a devastating reality.
Then, Watkins saw this Project Baltimore story Monday night, confirming what she already knew.
When I seen the name Johnston Square on there, I knew what I was doing and what I was saying was absolutely correct.
Project Baltimore combed through the 2022 state test results known as MCAP, Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program. Every Maryland student is tested in 3rd through 8th grade, and once again in high school in both math and English. Scores place the students in one of 4 levels. Levels 1 and 2 are considered not proficient. 3 and 4 are proficient. We found in 23 Baltimore City schools, there were 0 students who tested proficient in math. Not a single student. And on that list, Johnston Square.
But they're being pushed out of the systems, out of the grammar school to high school, into college, without the things they need to get them through college. This is why we have the situations we have today. Reading on, he remains optimistic that Schumer will bring KOSA to a vote, citing that the fact that they still have a requisite support from over half of the U.S. Senate. However, others aren't sold on the bill. The ultra-conservative Senator Rand Paul, who on occasion shown a civil libertarian lean streak on blocking measures that censor free speech expression, is opposed to the bill, as is Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, who was the co-author of the controversial Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996 that has been reaffirmed by the U.S. Supreme Court numerous times for being crucial in protecting the First Amendment on the Internet. As AVN previously reported, the American Civil Liberties Union and the Electronic Frontier Foundation are the two leading civil liberty groups that are opposed to KOSA due to its potential for censoring legal expression. This is a crucial detail to this report because Congress has also made another development regarding age verification legislation or bills such as KOSA that create an environment that risks the sensitive, personal, identifiable information of adults and minors. While KOSA doesn't explicitly require age verification on a national scale, it will require platforms to adhere to a duty of care design platforms that are protected of users who are identified as minors. Federal court has already declared that one iteration of this is the California Age Appropriate Design Code, which was deemed unconstitutional. The CRS published a report in June titled Identifying Minors Online, authored and compiled by Claire Y. Cho, PhD, and an economist trained at Ohio State and an analyst in an industrial organization for the Congressional Research Service. The report found that any legislation allowing the identification of minors on the internet in the name of age insurance or similar measures could violate the U.S. Constitution and the First Amendment. Right now, remember this. In October, right before, and this could be part of the October surprise, the Supreme Court will be hearing the Texas age verification lawsuits from the Free Speech Coalition and many others that are going against the Texas law. And we're hoping if this becomes the rally cry to shut this down and they vote that age verification is unconstitutional, you're going to see all these laws fall apart immediately, including KOSA. Courts have ruled that some of these states' laws likely violate the First Amendment, Cho wrote, referring to the state-level age verification laws targeting social media networks and adult entertainment platforms. In addition, some federal laws are seeking to protect minors online have been deemed unconstitutional under the First Amendment by federal courts. Kids Online Safety Act will require certain federal agencies to conduct a study evaluating the most technological feasible methods and options for developing systems to verify age at the device or operating systems level, observed Cho. Researching on age verification methods might occur under a broader proposal relating to conducting research on online platforms. While Cho doesn't explicitly warn against age verification legislation, it is worth noting that the ongoing debate surrounding the constitutionality of these proposals is not easing up. For example, and I mentioned this before, the U.S. Supreme Court took up the Cage Free Speech Coalition a la Paxton for review next term. In that case, the adult industry trade organization, the Free Speech Coalition, and the parent companies of the largest entertainment platforms in the world alleged that Texas House Bill 1181, an age verification proposal adopted by state legislator targeting adult websites, violate porn site users' First Amendment rights. The ACLU is co-counsel on this as well with the porn companies as for them. And the thing is, this is what's been going on. This is some of the things, and people, they're like, oh, you have Project 2025. This is why, President Trump, he had him, and we have an article on this. They basically have distanced themselves from the Project 2025 because they have these age verification laws, KOSA, all in this bill. I mean, we have a secondary article out there from XBiz that the Washington Times, they published an opinion piece from the executive director of the Taxpayer Protections Alliance criticizing KOSA on its constitutional grounds. So you have many groups, you have many different groups that are coming forward now that they're saying this is not going to save the children. This is not going to help children. This is going to violate the Constitution. This will lead to censorship in America. This will lead to censorship into the internet, and it will not stop. If they make this agreement, they're going to go after the books. They're going to go after what's being on print, what's going after. They're going to come after us YouTubers as well. It's not going to stop at porn. People need to understand that. As I had that video last week, porn is a red herring to censorship and freedom of speech. This is what's going to happen. You already see this in other places around the world. In Asia, like in Thailand, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, France. You're seeing this all over. I mean, we got a report that there is a Thailand. There are certain politicians that are looking to open up the door to the porn industry to legalize it there, because they're realizing that it is, it's wrong to do this. You cannot stifle creativity. The Supreme Court has voted on that, and you might say, well, how is porn created? Have you not seen some of the stuff out there? Go out and check out some of the stuff. Even in the gay community, there are early videos, and this is how they used to able to show porn movies in gay porn movies in theaters, because they filmed it in a certain way that it was a little bit more creative, more artistic to the situation. And, this is what happened for quite some time and still does to this day. But, like I said, you have the Taxpayer Protection Alliance criticizing them as well. How many more organizations need to come forward and tell them, listen, this is wrong. This is what I'm going to tell you. You get a moment, go contact Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee or Richard Blumenthal. Tell them they are wrong to do this. Don't be argumentative on a situation. Just voice your opinion and tell them, hey, this is not for the American population. This is not for our republic. You're violating the Constitution. Here then. Because, everybody wants to make up their own laws, their own beliefs to the situation. Yes, I understand. You don't like pornography. You don't want your kids to watch it either. But parents have a choice to do that. They have a full chance to handle it in their own way, which is available. And I'll tell you this, some of it's free, some of it's already in your computer. If you have an antivirus, like one of these home versions and stuff like that, you have the ability to block certain websites. Yes, that's right. You can block certain websites from your children accessing. And there are small, minor software programs that are inexpensive or free that will do it as well. Corporate America does it already. Most people don't realize that. In my time in the retail industry, when you hit certain sites and when you're using the computer, certain sites are blocked by the company that you're able to get. I mean, even some sites that shouldn't be blocked. So this is what shows you. Because sometimes when you're plugging in, say, lingerie, bikinis or something like that, and you hit certain terminologies of them, sometimes they're blocked. They're blocked by some of these because they sort of match up to the adult industry. But there's nothing wrong with lingerie. It's underwear. It's underwear. Bikinis, you go to the beach. Nothing wrong with that. But certain countries consider that porn. It's like what Morality Media did when they pulled Cosmopolitan and Sports Illustrated from the front counters of Walmart. Because they said, oh, it's porn in the front counters. No, it's not. It's a girl in a bikini. It's a Cosmopolitan is a discussion, women's issues, even if it's about sex. They don't want you to know about that. They don't want you hearing from people saying, well, I've had this issue. This is where the depression level kicks in. That you can't read, you're not allowed to hear this, you're not allowed to hear that. This is where we're up to these days. And it continues and it continues. When people are not well educated and get to hear both sides of the aisle, you have situations like what happened in Pennsylvania. God forbidding if we ever have something like that again. I was talking to my wife, in my lifetime, I've had 2 assassination attempts on a president. In my wife's lifetime, because she's a little older, she's had 3 in her lifetime. And there's still question to this day. And they still certain ones blame media and, what's been going on around us. All you got to do is sit down and watch some of the congressional hearings of the 1990s on TV violence, video game violence, music, and then you hear the lies that, you hear, like what Tipper Gore, wife of Al Gore, was saying. It's, what she had put out, out there. That, groups like Twisted Sister, they said, oh, they're into bondage and sadomasochism and all that. But they're not. Their music is not. And, Dee Snider explained to Congress what his music is. People think things or hear things that are not there. So comment in the comments below line. Let me know what your thoughts about this. Are you for KOSA? Are you against KOSA? Are you for age verification or against? Let me know you're in the comments. Those of you outside the United States, please also do, because I know some of you guys out there are dealing with this situation where you cannot access on it. There are literally certain countries that right now, today, 2024, cannot access the internet at all. And it's not because they're in a third world country that basically the government has closed the internet out to them. So let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share this video, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So smash that subscription bar wherever you're watching this particular video. Be sure to check out our shop, q2cast.com, our gear shop out there. We got some great stuff, back to school stuff. We got knapsacks also this time around. We got shirts. We should be having the sweatshirts back up on the lineup, so do check that out. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, stay mad, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are 2 ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.